What is going on, y'all? Today is going to be the front side of the body day. So chest, bicep, quads, adductors, and abs and shoulders. So lifestyle lift today. If you guys don't know what a lifestyle lift is, if you're new here, pretty much it's a lift that you're going to be using in your day-to-day life, right? Maybe not all day, every day, but in certain points. Your grandma, your mom, your dad, you know, whoever, your brother, who knows? They need help with getting something off the top shelf of like their cabinet or something. Or let's say you're at the grocery store and something's very heavy at the top shelf, right? And let's just say you can't get it up or down. Well, they say you do shoulder press, standing, you're able to get it up easy. And the reason why we like to do standing shoulder press compared to seated is mainly because of the differences. The differences being maybe more ab development, more ab involvement, and you can fold your lower back very easily whenever you're doing standing shoulder press. So it's also just good for that because it's more realistic. You're not doing a lot of seated seated shoulder press. It's early in the morning. It's actually not early. It's just earlier working out for me today. Yeah, I was going to talk to you guys. So I don't plan anything I say or that I'm about to say. I have like a plan that I kind of know, but I don't have like a word for word script or whatever. But what I did want to talk about was the recent, like just Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 kind of blow up again. And I just love that. Like, I know it was more sort of a trend, and I know there's a lot of people still playing it. I'm on Xbox, so personally, I don't get like the whole crazy blow up thing like PS does, but there's still a bunch of people playing Black Ops 1 because I was a Black Ops 2 player. I played a little Black Ops 1, but it wasn't really my favorite. It's a really fun game now. I played 5 yesterday, and like I said, I wasn't really a Black Ops 1 player. It's Black Ops 2, and I just learned really like how you play the map on Zombies 5. And 5 is such a fire map. Like, the pack-a-punch is such a cool thing. Like, that was one thing I was confused about. And the only reason why I'm, like, actually able to know how to do it is because I didn't look it up. But I was playing in a random 4-player match with these guys. And we actually got to, like, round 20. Which is surprising for your first game on playing with randoms. Because you're usually playing with randoms. Actually, I can't say it never goes well. Because every time I played with randoms on Zombies, it's actually gone pretty well, like, a lot of times, like, not anything too crazy, but, yeah, I mean, I just love the craze and everything of, like, the older games like that. Like, I wish we can go back and, like, play, like, Modern Warfare Remastered or Modern Warfare, like, the Call of Duty 4 game was so peak. That was probably one of my favorite Call of Duties, dude. I remember getting the, so I went into a private match with one of the guys I was friends with on Xbox, and I remember my mom was watching me play. She always used to watch me play video games. Sometimes whenever she didn't do anything, she would just sit there and cheer me on. It was really fun, but, I remember I was in a private match with this one guy, and this guy gave me max everything. I was like Prestige 2, I think, or maybe even 1, like level 43. It was like, I was fairly new to the game, but he gave me everything, every camo, so like gold included, literally everything, and it was just awesome. And he was like getting me, he was like no clipping out of the map and stuff. It was so fun, man. That's like the best parts about like when you grow up with Call of Duty and stuff. It's like the older Call of Duties are your favorite, and a lot of my favorite memories are just like the modded games and stuff. It was just so awesome. But yeah. With that said though, more on the lift though. It's probably gonna be an inclined dumbbell today. Bench, I'd have to say. I might do like a seated cable fly. We'll kind of have to see. I've been kind of wanting to do that recently. Just haven't been. And then probably a shoulder press, and then probably go to, oh, sorry, it goes down here. Probably a lateral raise next, and then up to like probably lateral raise, shoulder press, bicep curls, some sort, maybe hammer curls. I'm not exactly sure. I gotta kind of figure all this out, but nothing more really needs to be said, so I guess let's just kind of get into the video. Now, I'm going to explain this in terms of deload, so if you're trying to train to failure and whatnot, this is not the day today. So, for a deload day, you're making sure you want to train around about, 70, 60, 50, 80% of what you usually do, and stop 4 to 1 rep shy, and make sure you're doing the pattern. So, I'm going to explain it more at the end, but just don't train to failure, y'all. That's essentially what you're going to be doing. And for a deload day, if you could do something more like body weight things that aren't super hard for you, do them. So dips aren't the hardest things in the world for me. They're somewhat challenging and I need to get better at them. So overall, we're just going to be doing one more set, not going to failure once again. Definitely could do a lot more reps, but just getting a good tension on these shoulders and chest whenever we're doing these. Now moving along to the actual failure things. Now we're going to be training biceps, and first of all, we're going to be training a little bit of the brachialis and biceps whenever we're doing hammer curls. Training heavy and hard, 2 sets to failure, y'all. And we like to do them seated because we use less momentum when we're doing it seated, and just train a failure. So what that means essentially is if you can swing the weight up and then go slow on the way down and control it, keep doing that. Now moving along to primarily just the biceps, we're going to be doing preacher curls, and I went a little bit too heavy right here, but that's not a bad thing. Going a little heavy ego lifting once in a while isn't always a bad thing, because then you're trying at your hardest, and you're experiencing something new, so you might surprise yourself if you go a little bit heavier than you usually do one day, so try it out. Train to failure, y'all, and then we're going to be bending over and then just getting a short range of motion at the end. Now focusing a little bit on the legs, now we're going to be focusing on the middle of our legs, the adductors, because that's going to make your legs extremely wide. That's the kind of thing that a lot of people don't tell you about, because they say stay away from this machine, it's sus, that's why it's called the sus machine. Well, you're missing out on a lot of potential gains, and it's going to help you get a lot more flexibility and whatnot, because your adductors are, a lot of people have tight adductors, so tight groins and whatnot, which that's never good. Now this is a fun variation of squats in my opinion, and do it on the Smith machine because it's a lot harder to do it free weight just because you don't have as much balance. But we're going to be keeping constant tension going as far down as we can possible, and then keeping that constant tension, and after 5 or 6 reps you're going to do a full rep, and that'll be 1 rep. So you're really only going to get maybe 4 reps. So you don't have to train super heavy on these either. I only have 185 in terms of weight, probably 160 because it's Smith machine. But regardless, just try to failure, y'all, for 2 sets. This is going to really focus on those quads and glutes. All right, y'all. Workout is done. So I'm going to explain during the workout. Today was a deload day because I kind of did the research before the gym and whatnot. And it was saying how, like, if I, like, have been kind of stagnant on the weights and whatnot, and I've never really taken a deload, then I should probably take one. And so next week, or next time I train chest, it's going to be a heavier chest day again. This chest day was more just like do a couple sets, which I think I did 2 sets for chest today? I think. Yeah, 2 sets of chest today. So any pushing movement today, I didn't even do shoulder press. That was supposed to be my lifestyle lift, as I told you guys in the beginning. But it's a pushing movement. And I was like thinking, pushing, pressing movements are the same thing essentially that I'm doing. You know, because your chest is always involved in any type of pressing movement. Unless it's leg press or some shit. But like, so I was just like, even if it's a very little amount, I don't want to, you know, accidentally not even work the deload day, you know. So no shoulder pressing today either. But this was just because in my whole 4.5 years of lifting, I don't think I've ever taken a deload day once. Like once, maybe a lighter day, but I always went to failure. Today was like on like chest press, like the incline incline barbell bench today, actually, because the dumbbells were taken up in the benches. I was just like, I'll just stop 2 or 3 reps shy before failure. So deload, in my opinion, I don't like doing like the 5 reps before failure, you know, like, because I still like training with like somewhat weight. Like, if I was going to do dumbbells today, it was going to be like 65, 70, 75s, you know, and then stop at like 6 reps or something, 5 reps or, you know, 7 reps. So, you know, I still like doing some reps and some weight. I don't like doing no really low weights, and, you know, because I know powerlifters, they do like very small amounts of weight and very small amounts of reps, and they have like 5 reps in the tank, and it's like, at that point, why didn't you just take a rest day? That's how I think about it. Like, a deload day is good if you're still having somewhat of a moderate weight in reps. But like, if you're just doing 5, 6 reps, 7 reps, you know, before failure, it's like, what are you even in there for, right? You would got the full deload day if you just, you know, took a rest day at that point. Then, you know, that's why, because I'm still getting the movement in while doing somewhat heavy weight, and able to still get like that feeling in the weight in, you know, while also still being shy of failure, like 3 to 2 reps shy of failure, maybe 4. But then, you know, other things like biceps and legs, full failure. There's no point for me not to go to failure on those, because they don't have any involvement in my chest or shoulder movements. That's just how I see it. So take that as you wish. Even bodybuilders, I guess, need deloads. That's what I figured out today. Because like I said, I was stagnant on my chest press. So if you're stagnant on something, take a deload day. Just like on that certain thing. So let's say you're having a deload on your squat. Just say that, for example. Do 80% of what you usually do, and then 4 to 2 reps shy of failure. And then everything else involved, so like, let's say it's your squat. Anything that's involved with your legs, take it shy of failure. So 1 to 4 reps shy of failure. And anything else other than that muscle group. So let's say you're doing back and triceps that day. You could still do whatever you want on triceps, go to failure. Complete failure. But like, if it's the exact movement, so if today for me, which was incline dumbbell or incline bench, I'm going to take it more shy of failure, because that's the exact movement that is fatiguing more and stagnant. So for you, squat should be more shy of failure, and then something like hamstrings could be 1 or 2 reps shy of failure. Not, you could do 4 reps if you wanted to, but nothing more than, I'd say, 4. And it's hard to calculate what exactly is 4 or 3 reps shy of failure, but I just spilled some water myself. But you kind of typically know how many more reps you have in the tank around. You may have, honestly, 5 reps, 6 reps, when you only think you have 3 reps. You know, you can hit that second wave, but, you know, And on the deload days, try to make sure your form is as perfect as possible. So on like my incline dumbbell or barbell, I would tuck my arm in a little bit more to get more upper chest activation than what I would usually do. Because sometimes when I'm doing my heavier movements, my arm is flared out a little bit. So it might be like this compared to this. Not this, but this. Now today was like this. So, because the more tucked in you have, the more upper chest activation. And you should still have your arms tucked in on like flat benches or whatever not, in my opinion, you know. Everybody's different. Everybody likes to do certain things differently, but that's just how I go about it. But yeah, man, there's nothing really else more to talk about. I'm gonna make my food and get going to work, y'all. So nothing more needs to be said. So until next time, guys. Peace out.